Most people fail to quit adult content before they've even started, not because they're weak and not because their intentions aren't in the right place. It's because their approach to things is all wrong. Now, for the most part, I think the reason why I kept on relapsing is because I thought it was all about resisting urges. You're typically taught to get on with whatever it is that you're facing, right? So I thought that I could approach it with the same mindset and just wait around and do nothing, but that was the quickest way that I found myself relapsing. And of course, you're fed so much information online, you're fed so much advice on what to do if you're struggling, how to overcome this addiction, and I'd say for the most part, nobody really gives you what actually works. Because I was told that if I counted the days, if I upheld my streak, if I treated it like a challenge that could be overcome, that I would succeed, but that always led me to relapsing. Because at the end of the day, right, whenever you consider something a challenge, that means that there's an end date. So when you approach an addiction with this mindset, that means that you're going to think to yourself, okay, this is day one, this is day two, this is day three. You're going to hyper obsess over the habit that's holding you back instead of living it out like a lifestyle. I was constantly thinking to myself, what day am I on? How's things going? I'd love to keep on top of my progress, know exactly how long I've lasted, and that mindset is destructive because you never move on mentally. You're just sat there fighting yourself, saying to yourself, you know what, this time round, I'm going to reach a higher streak. And you never actually find yourself progressing. Once again, this mindset, this approach to things holds you back. So I would say the first piece of advice for you guys in this video is to stop counting days, stop treating it like a challenge. It isn't a challenge, it's a lifestyle that you're actively trying to build for yourself. But each and every single time you start counting days, you are setting off a time bomb. So please take this advice on board, because I've been through it 1,000 times over. And what I don't want is for you to watch this video and not take anything that I'm saying on board. I would say the second thing is to replace the habits. That was one thing that I got wrong. What you guys need to understand is that you spent so many years building this comfortable hell, building this habit, feeding into it. So when you try and drift away from it, when you try and come away from it, and don't replace it with something else, your brain is obviously going to go back to and side with whatever feels familiar to it, and that's why most people relapse. That's why I relapsed. So the way I actually went about coming away from this habit was replacing it with something else, something that kept me active. So working out, the gym. It wasn't necessarily fun at first, but that became a uncomfortable heaven for me and a place where I could store all of this built up energy. Worked as well. Whatever you consider to be hard, whatever you consider to be work, transmute all of your energy into doing that over this. I think you can have a peace of mind knowing that you're trying to build something instead of just consuming things all day long. Whether it's content, TV shows, movies, and even adult content, whatever it may be. Knowing that you're creating something, knowing that you're doing something to better yourself is far more beneficial for you in the long run. This is something that you guys know to be true, but I need to set a reminder. I would say the third and final thing is your environment. Now, your environment is far more important than you think. If you spend all day, every day in your bedroom, you're most likely going to relapse. If you spend all day scrolling in your bed and then come across something, you're most likely going to relapse. So what did improving actually look like for me? Okay, less screen time, less mindless scrolling, less staying in my bedroom, places where the untoward happens. Avoid them like the plague. You need to make sure that your bad habits are so much harder to fall back into than your good habits, easier. Each and every single time I had an urge, I'd get up, I'd do something active. Push-ups, I'd go for a 10-minute walk. And these things, they feel small at first, but they keep you going. So long as you're transmuting that energy elsewhere, it's beneficial to you. I always say when the mind is spiraling, get the body moving. It's not just beneficial because it betters your fitness, but it also gives you a peace of mind. And when you first overcome that hurdle of lust, when you overcome that first hurdle of lust, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling, and eventually lust stops banging on your door so loud. It's always going to be there because lust isn't demonic, it's desire at the end of the day, and it's up to you on what to do with that desire. So you just need to make sure that it's going into the right places. And honestly, this is something that you need to fix early. I would say when I made that shift, things started to look a whole lot better for me. But ideally, you need to get out of this habit before your 20s, ideally. Because there's certain habits that I've carried over into my 20s, and I'm still trying to get rid of them. But once again, it's not an easy process. It's something that's going to take a while. But this habit, this addiction, it will destroy your discipline, it will destroy your dopamine levels, and it will destroy your focus. It will take away so much from you. It trains your brain for instant gratification, telling you that life is easy, but nothing in this life comes easy, especially not overcoming this addiction. And coming back to the instant gratification side of things, there's times where I fail to stay consistent. There's times where I couldn't even focus on one thing for more than a couple of minutes, but I think the shift happened for me when I told myself that this is not a temporary change, but a lifestyle, and I need to treat it as such. Stop counting the days and actually try and transfer this energy into doing something positive. So long as you can prove to yourself that you are competently trying, that you're doing your absolute best, then it's impossible to fail in the long run. I genuinely believe that if you try your absolute best at something, then it's impossible to fail in the long run. So I think for those of you who are going to take what I'm saying seriously, some serious conversations need to be had with yourself. For those of you under 20, so teenagers, you're tomorrow's adults, and I think you need to take a step further to understand yourself and what you want out of life. And if you're an adult watching this, then you need to act with a great sense of urgency, because you don't have all day. You don't. 5 years down the line, things could look the exact same for you. Stagnant. Unchanging. Well, maybe you have changed, but not for the better. Not for the better. Definitely for the worst. So this is a reality check for a lot of you about adult content. It's nobody's fault that you're in the situation that you're in, but your own. But that's a great thing, because it also means that you can get out of it. Please don't lead with a victim mentality, and please act with a great sense of urgency, because whether you realize it or not, this habit can destroy years of your life whilst making you feel comfortable the entire time. And comfort is dangerous when it's destroying you slowly. I hope the majority of you show follow through on what I'm saying. I hope you're not just consuming this content, but creating something for yourself. I know this addiction is hard to overcome. It's going to take a few tries. It's going to be quite a bit of failure on your way to getting there, but at least you have a peace of mind knowing that you're doing absolutely everything that you can to snap out of things. That's much better than holding a 190-day streak and being obsessed and proud over your progress, knowing the exact day. Of course, you can be proud of your progress, but don't hyper-obsess over your accomplishments. Like I said, that's the quickest way to relapse. And anyway, by the time you've built a lifestyle for yourself, this period of your life will seem so trivial. It'll seem like it was nothing, and you'll be wondering why you were struggling with this addiction all along, but all you had to do was quite literally touch grass. That's all you had to do. But yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, share it to a friend and family member who you think may need to see and hear this video. And if you guys want to join a community full of like-minded people, then I'll leave a link down below in the description, as well as the comment section. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. God bless.